The Eurozone's return to economic growth is broadening as it spreads to the currency area's weaker southern members. But who is making the right noises and who is holding the bloc back? I'm Monica Gibson, and on the phone to share his perspectives is Carsten Brzeski. So Carsten, Eurozone manufacturing hit a 26-month high, but looking more closely at the index, what were the main surprises and disappointments to your mind?
Yeah, I think overall the main message was that the Eurozone as a whole has returned to growth. The absolute levels of, for example, the PMIs point to some meager growth in the second half of the year. If you look at the individual countries, I think one of the major surprises was probably the Netherlands, which saw a strong rebound of industrial activity, which would also be good news for the Eurozone core, because the Netherlands have been lagging behind. For the rest, I think yes, we still are at recessionary levels in many peripheral countries, which is not a surprise, but which still is not good news. But I think really that the overall picture is good, and we will have to wait for the next coming month on whether, I'd say, the surprises of last month can sustain the current pace, or that we see new surprises.
Indeed, France is one exception to the otherwise positive trend. The index has wallowed below the neutral 50 mark for a year and a half, suggesting to some that the unexpected jump in France's second quarter GDP may soon fade. Is this a concern which you share?
I think that what we saw in France was that the second quarter growth was mainly driven by private consumption, which really came as a surprise. What we've seen already now for a longer while, that the industry, that the corporate sector is not really looking very optimistic into the future, and even worse, that actually industrial activity is clearly lagging behind. So I'm a bit afraid that the strong growth of the French economy in the second quarter was rather a one-off, and that the second largest economy of the Eurozone will again rather fall behind the rest of the Eurozone.
Because of remaining issues, emergent signs of growth in the Eurozone economy are unlikely to result in tighter monetary policy from the European Central Bank, at least in the nearer term. We've had forward guidance, we've had record low interest rates, but what are investors hoping for from this week's ECB meeting?
No, I think the thing right now for the ECB is that with the improved economic outlook, that a rate cut, which had been discussed in the past, is clearly off the table. So that is one thing, and I think that the ECB should confirm this now on Thursday. The other question that the ECB will be facing in the coming month is what to do if and when the Fed starts tapering, and at the same time the economic outlook of the Eurozone continues to improve, because this could lead to a situation in which bond yields, long-term interest rates, go up. Something that is really that is not good for the Eurozone, because it could choke off the recovery. So we will have to really listen carefully to the ECB and its communication on whether this current forward guidance can be sufficient to lock in interest rates, or whether either on Thursday or in the coming month, the ECB will link its forward guidance to economic variables like the Fed or the Bank of England have already done.
Despite the uptick in euro data, the single currency was little changed yesterday. Given the tapering expectations, what is your outlook for the euro dollar moving forward?
If you look at the exchange rate, actually the euro has performed much better than many foreign exchange analysts had predicted a couple of months ago. It's still relatively strong. We have not seen the expected strong appreciation of the dollar. I think with the fact that the tail risks, the risk of a Eurozone breakup, that these have really disappeared. This should gradually make the Eurozone more attractive for foreign investors. And of course, the other thing will be growth. If we really see growth returning gradually in the coming months and quarters, this should also make the Eurozone more attractive.
Carsten, thank you so much for your insights today. Viewers, later I'll be bringing you an exclusive interview looking at US PMI data ahead of Friday's all-important NFP figures. So please do click back for that. Goodbye for now.